Thank you very much, everybody. And I want to thank the great Dan Gable and Kathy, his beautiful wife. They're here someplace for their support. Greatest wrestler maybe ever. Pretty good. And I'll tell you what, he loves Iowa, and so do I. So thank you, Dan. You're out here somewhere. Where is Dan? Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Kathy. So nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, it's fine. Just go ahead.
I love you, too. I love you, too. I love you, too. As you've heard earlier today, the FBI, after discovering new emails, is reopening their investigation into Hillary Clinton. The investigation is the biggest political scandal since Watergate, and it's everybody's hope that justice at last can be delivered. In a very brief remarks tonight, Hillary Clinton tried to politicize this investigation by attacking and falsely accusing the FBI director of only sending the letter to Republicans. Another Clinton lie. As it turned out, the letter was sent to both Republican and Democratic leaders in Congress. The FBI would never have reopened this case at this time unless it were a most egregious criminal offense. As you know, I've had plenty of words about the FBI lately, but I give them great credit for having the courage to right this horrible wrong. Justice will prevail. Prior to today's events, I was going to start off this speech by talking about how great we've been doing in the polls. We've been running an issue-based campaign focused on change, accountability, and, of course, repealing and replacing Obamacare. We're campaigning all over the country with a plan to bring back our jobs and provide safety for our families. In recent days, Remington polls, which is highly respected, showed us surging 4 points ahead in Ohio, going 3 points ahead in North Carolina. We're up, according to Bloomberg, at least 2 points in Florida. And by the way, the people standing on lines in Florida and so many other places are unbelievable, early voting states. And a lot of them have red hats, they have white hats, they have pins, they have shirts that happen to say, "Make America Great Again." And for the most part, these are people that are voting for Trump, right? For the most part. When they have the whole deal and plenty of buttons, we've got their vote. But the lines have been incredible all over the country. We've pulled, thank you. We've pulled ahead nationally in numerous polls. And this was all before this recent disaster for her, but justice for the country occurred. We had gaps, but we are really moving. And I just wanted to say that because I don't know what's going to happen now. And by the way, speaking of Iowa and speaking of polls, the Des Moines Register, not my favorite paper, has us up 4 points in Iowa. In 11 days, we are going to win the state of Iowa, and we are going to win back the White House. Early voting is underway, so make sure you get out and vote. It's a movement like nobody has ever seen before in this country. You must get out and vote. We're going to take back the White House. We're going to bring common sense to government. We're going to bring honesty to government. Get out and vote. Thank you. So much is at stake in this election. When we win in November, we are going to have honest government once again. Hillary Clinton destroyed 33,000 emails, destroyed 13 iPhones. 2 boxes of email evidence went mysteriously missing. Maybe now they'll be able to find it. She put her office up for sale to large corporations, donors, and foreign powers. Those same special interests are now spending millions on her campaign in an effort to keep their corrupt grip on power. And I have to tell you, I was in Florida a couple of days ago, and they say it's 50-1 ads, 50-1. Now, isn't it beautiful? 50-1, all of that Wall Street money going to help crooked Hillary, and we're leading. How are you leading when it's 50-1? And boy, am I spending a lot of my money, and wow. Dan Gable would say you shouldn't be spending that much, Mr. Trump. But he knows about winning more than anybody, and I'll tell you what, we are going to win. We are going to win. And we're going to return power to the people. You know, I was on the other side, and I understand the other side probably as well as anybody, but I love our country. I really love our country, and I saw what was happening, and I had to do this. And on June 16th of last year, when I announced, coming down the escalator with Melania, I announced, I want to tell you, it was one of the great honors of my life, because we are going to start winning again. Our country is going to start being smart again. We're not going to let our jobs disappear. Our country is going to start being smart again. We're not going to let our jobs disappear. We're going to be this. We have, as a movement, like they've never seen before, a once-in-a-lifetime chance to clean up Washington, to bring fairness and growth back to our economy, and to stop wasting trillions and trillions of dollars in misguided wars and adventures overseas, and we never win. We never win. Real change begins with immediately repealing and replacing the disaster known as Obamacare. It's just been announced that Americans are going to experience another massive double-digit hike. Double-digit. These hikes, and by the way, they were announced by the White House, and they said 25%, which is terrible. But the real number is double that. The real number is much more than that. As an example, the great state of Arizona will have a 116% increase in premiums. Even Bill Clinton admitted Obamacare is, quote, the craziest thing in the world, where people wind up with their premiums doubled and their coverage cut in half. In Minnesota, where premiums increase will be probably more than 60%, the Democratic governor has said the Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. Horrible. Never worked. I said it before they approved it. Remember, how many times did President Obama say, you can have your doctor, you can keep your plan, you can keep your doctor, over and over, 28 times. And a lot of people, including Democrats, voted for it because they believed him. But it was a lie. Jonathan Gruber, the architect of Obamacare. Remember that name from a year and a half ago? Remember that name? People forget, but I don't forget. Admitted it was all a fraud. He said it was passed because of the stupidity of the American voter. Do you remember that guy? But the only stupidity was that the officials who rammed this through over the objections of the American voter, this is what happened, did a tremendous disservice to our country. Job-killing Obamacare is just one more way the system is rigged. And I've been saying it for a long time. But you know what? What happened today, starting with the FBI, maybe the system will become a little less rigged. Beautiful. Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. She also wants to put illegal immigrants on Obamacare, further collapsing our health care system in this country. Repealing and replacing Obamacare is one of the single most important reasons we must win on November 8th. By the way, who has voted so far? Raise your hands. That's not great. Who is going to vote? All right, good. That's good. We're going to do great. Special place, special people, special place. Real change also means getting rid of the corruption in Washington. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to take our government back from the donors and the special interests. I used to be a donor. I used to be a special interest. Now I'm very much an outsider. I may be the all-time, I might just be the all-time outsider the day I announce. One day I was an insider, and then boom, oh boy, was I an outsider. But I knew what had to be done. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear us immediately when we say, when we win on November 8th, we are going to Washington, D.C., and we are going to drain the swamp. Drain the swamp. We're going to drain the swamp. By the way, they just told me this is a record-setting crowd for this place. Not bad. Not bad. And I don't have a guitar, I don't have an instrument, so that makes it even better. At the core of my contract is my plan to bring back our jobs. Right now, 70 million American women and children live in abject poverty or something, what's happening in this country. This is the United States of America. Think of that number. 45% of African American children under the age of 6 live in poverty. Another 2 million Hispanic Americans have fallen into poverty under the Obama administration. 40,000 American veterans are homeless, are great people. These are our great people. Yet our government spends hundreds of billions providing benefits for people that are in our country illegally. We're going to turn it around, and that begins with a plan to lower taxes on American businesses from 35%, which is the highest anywhere in the world, to 15%, which is among the lowest. And that includes massive tax cuts for family farms. Do you like that? Family farms. You have some great farms, I will. We're going to protect our family farmers. Hillary Clinton's plan will shut down family farms all over the nation. She will do this not only through radical EPA regulation, and you know what's happening. The farmers are telling me all the time EPA is destroying them, but also by raising taxes on family farms and all businesses to rates as high as 45 and 50%. Adding to the pain, Hillary wants to substantially increase the estate tax on family farms. In other words, it will be very hard to leave your farm to your children and your heirs. I'm eliminating the death tax. On top of that, her anti-energy agenda will radically drive up the cost of energy, another attack on agriculture. I will end this war on the American farmer. The American farmers are incredible people. These are incredible people, and we will end that war. We will also reverse the EPA intrusion and eliminate the anti-farmer regulations, of which there are so many that it makes it very hard for you to compete with the farms of other countries. We will protect corn-based ethanol, importantly. And we will also cancel billions of dollars in climate change payments to the United Nations, and we will use that money to help rebuild America's infrastructure. It's going to be America first. We will become a rich nation again. But to be a rich country, we must also be a safe country. Hillary wants a 550% increase in Syrian refugees flowing into our country. And that's over the thousands and thousands and thousands of people coming from Syria. We don't know who they are, where they're from. They're coming from Syria under President Obama. She wants to increase that number by 550%. The Hillary refugee plan would leave us with generations of terrorism, radicalism, and extremism inside of our shores. So let me state this as clearly as I can. When I'm elected president, I am going to keep radical Islamic terrorists out of this country. A Trump administration will also secure and defend the borders of the United States. And yes, we will build the wall. And yes, Mexico will pay for the wall. 100%. 100%. We have a massive trade deficit with Mexico. Great, wonderful people. I met with the leader 3 months ago, President of Mexico. Very good meeting. But we have a massive trade deficit with Mexico. Numbers are staggering. The cost of the wall is peanuts compared to what we're talking about. They will pay for the wall in one form or the other. They may not know that yet, but that's okay. Countless Americans who have died in recent years would be alive today if not for the open border policies of this administration. This includes incredible Americans like 21-year-old Sarah Root, who is right from this area, an incredible young woman. And I've spent time with her amazing family. The illegal immigrant who killed Sarah arrived at the border, entered federal custody, and then was released into the United States community under the policies of our very weak and very sad White House. He was released again after he killed Sarah and is now at large. Sarah graduated from college with a 4.0 index, top in her class, the day before she was killed. Her parents are great people. I've gotten to know them. They are great people. Just great people. Devastated. Always devastated. Will always be devastated. Hillary has pledged open borders and supports sanctuary cities. Under my contract with the American voter, we are going to cancel all funding for sanctuary cities immediately. We also need a new foreign policy that puts America first. Hillary's policies have caused disasters in Iraq Syria, Libya, and unleashed ISIS. With the great vacuum, created the vacuum. And now she stands up and says, I will get rid of ISIS. We didn't have ISIS until she came in. They created, look, we shouldn't have gone to Iraq. Once we did, the way they got out was a disaster. They created this great open vacuum, and ISIS formed. Hillary and our failed Washington establishment have spent $6 trillion on wars in the Middle East, and now it's in worse shape over there than ever before by a factor of 10. Think of it. Think of it. $6 trillion, we could have rebuilt our country twice. Imagine if we used this money to rebuild America, including our inner cities in Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Our failed establishment has dragged us into foreign wars that have made us less safe, have left our borders just totally wide open, and have shipped our jobs and wealth to other countries, cheered on by the friends of Hillary, who benefit from this, and always cheered on by the very dishonest media. Very dishonest. In fact, the real question is, who's more dishonest? Crooked Hillary Clinton or the media? I don't know. It's a close. Honestly, these are among the most dishonest people in the world, believe me. Our corrupt political class has enriched themselves, but left our families with poverty, unemployment, and rising crime. Now Hillary wants to start a shooting war in Syria in conflict with a nuclear-armed Russia, which could very well lead to World War III. This is over Syria, folks. To all Americans, I say it's time for new leadership. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of a Trump administration. We are going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan. We're going to eliminate unnecessary job-killing regulations. We'll cancel every illegal Obama executive order. We're going to provide, you're going to like this, school choice and put an end to Common Core, which is a disaster. We'll bring our education local. We will rebuild our military and take care of our great veterans who have not been properly taken care of. We have tremendous veteran and military support in this campaign. We're going to reduce surging crime and support the men and women of law enforcement. And by the way, you won't hear this from the media. We have the highest murder rate in this country in 45 years. You don't hear that from these people. They don't want to talk about it. The highest murder rate in the United States in 45 years. We're going to save our Second Amendment, which is totally under siege. And the NRA, which are great people, National Rifle Association, gave me the earliest endorsement they've ever given to anybody. They're great people. And we're going to appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Americans are tired of being told by politicians that they have to defer their dreams to another day, but they really mean another decade or many decades away. Hillary has been there for 30 years, and she's accomplished nothing but negative results. She's made things worse. She is the candidate of yesterday. We are the movement of the future. We, all together. Our movement represents all Americans from all backgrounds and all walks of life. We are asking for the votes of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, and first-time voters. We're going to have a lot of them. We're going to have a lot of first-time voters. Got a lot of great people, 45 years old, 50 years old, 67. I'll tell you, I met a first-time voter in Tennessee, 92 years old, the most beautiful woman, 92 years old. First-time voter, most incredible person. We have so many, and these are great Americans. They've just never found anybody they really wanted to vote for. Now they have. We are fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. We're a divided nation, but we are fighting to bring us all together as Americans like we're tonight. There's love here. With your vote, we are just 11 days away from the change you've been waiting for your entire life. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. God bless you. God bless you, Iowa. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Get out and vote. Thank you, Iowa.